Wayne's Tiny House. Welcome back, Tiny House people. In this video, I am going to break tradition and tell you how I did a particular step in building my tiny house. In my past videos, I have described to you that I am going to show you what I did, but not how I did it, because I am not a carpenter. I'm just a self-taught handyman. But since I'm not a carpenter, cutting rafters confuses the hell out of me. Yeah, and there's YouTube videos out there that explains it. But I figured out a method to figure out the cuts on my rafters. And so let me explain what I've done so far. Good. So anyway, the two rafters I have up there, well, one's really bowed. Whew. That's okay, I'll fix that. And it kind of looks funny because I'm going to mirror that and cut the two rafters for that side. Now you can see like a square box that the two rafters set on there. I know it kind of looks like a little funny, but in between those, the two rafters that's on the left and the two rafters that will be on the right, I'm going to have a dormer there, or a dorm, whatever the proper phrase is. And I have to measure and cut the two rafters on that side. And I'll show you the method I used on that. So what we want to do is determine the angle that we want to cut the rafter right at that spot right there. And we want to determine the seat cut, which would be right there. Some people call it the seat cut in the bird mouth. And so the first step you want to do after you get your rafter up, approximate where it's going to go up there. Clamp a piece of scrap 2x4 to that piece right there. When you're working on a project like this, clamps are your friend. Clamps and scrap wood. Now at the other end, which is down here, and clamp another piece of scrap 2x4, and we'll tweak the positioning of that later on. So I temporarily screwed it in. You can see the screw right there. I pre-drilled the hole through the rafter and screwed it into the ridge beam. That is just a temporary procedure. The next step is to position the rafter exactly where I want it, and then I will trace or transfer the cut, if you will, and I'll show you that in a minute. Again, that block is just to hold it up to assist me. So I got this part of the rafter right here, exactly where I wanted it to contact the top plate. Then I just traced the lines where that cut should go. I looked out at my block in that spacer, hitting my marks dead, right on. Now I will go up to that part and I will trace a line down to get that angle. And there's my line for that cut. If you're confident with this method, which I am, because I did the other two the exact same way, I'll be cutting that. That cut will be going to the ridge beam. And again, if I did my job right, it's gonna work just fine. Okay, with the bird mouth cut or the seat cut, it's going to be the same. If you're confident with what you did, it's going to work beautiful. With the other rafters, in this case I just don't only have one, transfer your geometry to your other rafter. Of course you can see that, but it made a lot of noise. That's good. And like I said before, clamps and scrap wood are your best friend when you're working alone. So what I did was I fastened a 2x4 against that existing rafter on the right side, and I clamped the rafter I'm installing to that scrap piece of wood to make sure it was even, dead even with the existing rafter. I adjusted the height and I fastened the ridge beam, put some screws through the ridge beam to the rafter. Okay, using my method, as you can see, those angles are pretty accurate, aren't they? Here's the first one that I cut. I use that one for the template for the second one. And as you can see, that angle is pretty sweet right there. You can see a little gap there only because the ridge beam is a little bowed. So you're going to see that. Now we'll look at the other side just to see how tight that one is. Okay, let's see, how tight is that? Can't really see it that well from this angle. I'll get another. Alright, so from that angle, that's pretty good. That is the angle that you would cut it to. Here's the other end. Can't see it. Oh yes, you can see it well. And again, the lumber is a little bowed, a little cupped, I should say. So that's why you don't have really clean. But the angle is the angle. It's the angle. On the other end, my cut was a little funky there, as you can see a gap. But it is the length that I wanted. See how it butts right against there? At the right-hand corner, vertical. That's touching right there. So I know that's the exact length. I don't know how else I would have done that without the method I used. Because it would be like a two-man operation, measuring from that right-hand cut right up to the ridge beam. I don't know how I would have done that. This worked out good. It took me quite a while because, you know, I'm only one person. I'd use clamps, pieces of scrap wood, and what I have to do is add, like I did on this side, add those Simpson ties right there and right there. So I've got my other two rafters done there on the right. And as you can see, my method of cutting these rafters, which is very unconventional because I'm not a carpenter, worked out very well. You can see how that seat cut is nice and tight in there. And my cut at the ridge beam is perfect. And you know, I could have looked at my layout on my computer and looked at that length and cut it to that length, but you know, if you 1/4 inch off, which is very possible here, it's only rough carpentry, I could have been off. So this method made it exact. that thing is touching there, and it is touching up there perfectly. So anyways, that's it. Now what I'll do, my next step is to put another Simpson tie on the outside, just like that one is. I think we're out of focus here. Oh well, yeah. And then anyway, and then that's it for this video, I guess. Yeah, that pretty much wraps it up. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. I don't know what my next one will be. I am too tired to even think about it. So I hope you enjoyed my method of cutting those two, what I cut? Rafters. Those two rafters. Very unconventional way of doing it, but it worked perfectly. Took me a little time, only one person. Used clamps, blocks of wood. That's it, yeah. And this is Wayne from Wayne's Tiny House. Make sure you subscribe. Hit the thumbs up button. Subscribe. Hell with the thumbs up. I only got 14 people to give me a thumbs up. 14 people, give me a thumbs up, will you? And the rest of you, if this is the first time you're watching my videos, check out the others. I am not an instructional video YouTube channel. I'm just showing you what I'm doing, not how I do it, except for this particular episode. So this is Wayne, Wayne's Tiny House, signing off. Talk to you later.